I'm Adam, and we're on the CSX rail line at ZHILLS Abbott, and this is the last 200 feet. Now, down here, we got, that's right, there's a badge. Alright, now let's walk it. Train just went by. CSX ain't bad. I'm actually registered. I'm gonna wait until I register and repair. Just to become a registered agent. And it's looking fine. I'm missing a tie here. The nail pattern's a little different from the Army. We're looking at the ending of this. Maybe things change in railroad carpentry. Those are anchors. We got the rail. This is 56.5-inch gauge. We got American Principle signal light up here. I'm not gonna knock it. Make sure I avoid it. You can legally run a rail down the thing and check them. On these rails, run them both in there. They're alright. We're going to the Abbott station to film the safe. There's a guy named Wire that lived here. There's also in ZHILLS, and this is the last 200 feet of the line where they stopped building the line. Now there's a weld increase. We're coming up on the Abbott, and here's a family railroad station. There's Wyatt, Herb, and a doofy. Seem to be around. Electrician thing used to be right there. The wires hanging out the rail. Coming up on Airport Road. This is now South Avenue. The first 1,000-meter. It's where the railroad ended, and it's Railway Express. And I'm the Grand Commission's son. What we notice here is not really much. A couple split, nothing, but it's all right. Yeah. This is a very ZHILLS, the Abbott. They made records about it. Talking, investigators came out to see it in '78, but they kind of partied for a reason. I don't know. And ZHILLS Railroad is small. Not a lot of people visit it or know this in town. Now, the Mid-Atlantic Safe had receipts in it from the old wire line. That was 1988 when they finished the rail here. It became a town in 1910. Oh shit, a cat. Yeah, I ain't touching that, but this is what we call a smash out. That tie. Split joint. We're gonna visit the Abbott right over there. These are railroad signals. If you want to run a pipe about 200 yards down, about 100 feet. That's 200 feet. We're talking about miles here. 1 in 10. Now the ballast is alright. And we're headed over to, that's the South Carolina Linen Company. This place was built in 1986, which I'll show you. And there is the caboose. We'll look at the names. Look at this. Headed South Carolina. Final destination, ZHILLS. The last up here. Over there is the Mid-Atlantic safe. And mow the grass. There's where the golden spigot is. Final destination. We're gonna hit the brakes under. Big fucking truck. This is the caboose. Look at it. Here's their names. Wyatt Zimmerman, DeBeber Co. and Burnside. And the Mid-Atlantic safe. If they did a wire and these international codes ruined because of the last 200 miles, we're looking at 1910. ZHILLS became a city. These deal with towns. The Atlantic Coastline Safe Railroad. This safe was stolen by my principal. It did a knock on my education, and we want the names out of that safe so we can check their stocks. He's probably sued internationally. We really live it down. Over there's a signal to come in and port with us. Now, I'm gonna also say this was rebuilt. I'm gonna touch this. It's locked up. Yeah. First phone company kinda here. ZHILLS. My name's John Nugent Rosenberger. My dad was a great commish. He's now passed away. I plan on investigating this place. Wire built this receiver in 1988. Restored in 1927 train depot. The Atlantic Coastline Railroad was built in 1927, used for passenger and freight service. Structure represents the architectural style of the early 1920s. Outdoor platforms, waiting rooms. Constructed from red brick, heart pine, cost about $13,207, and the site was cleared by workmen of the CSCY, the Sith and Grubho. Ownership in 1988 moved. It was the last 200 feet of the area known as the Depot Park Restoration. Now this Mid-Atlantic safe was, seeing it's kind of, here's the hinges. Mid-Atlantic safe. This saves GI Joes. Internationally, if they had stocks in this from TIOGA, we're looking at 100 years and not knowing this, but it was investigated in 1978. And if they did not know this before the 1988 restoration, I wonder what it was like then. And this is kind of the automobile fleet leaders, those investigated this, along as the other CIA from the other country. Let's ruin GI Joe. With this kind of stock report, we could have them back to my pals. In there. A combination of passengers, commodities, depots on the Atlantic Coastline Railroad. Considering CSX and the chain, swinging the chain that came out, this really brings back the coastline Atlantic Coastline Depot serves Zephyr Hills community for over 50 years, present from 1989, and restoration was completed in 1997. The October 20th, 1998, the plaque dedicated to the volunteers, residents, and contributed to restoration and Zephyr Hills Historical Association Charter. See if we can't look inside here. And it came up alright. Librarian works this. And I'm gonna head out. The Zephyr Hills Depot Museum, restored in 1927. Now here's what they did. They made the first 1,000 kilometer radio trans signal, and they didn't want to tell on it, right? They didn't want to tell it in 1988. And they didn't, this time was 1913, and we're looking at English. This right here is a Mid-Atlantic safe. Mid-Atlantic safe, which was stolen by Jim Davis and stuff like that. And there was 1888, and this town became a city in 1910 and 1913. There was end of World War I. We're looking at 1987 Tioga. I'm not going to tell you where though. They DSA stocks. Whoever's name's in that safe is that fucking bad co. For 100 years they stole from the United States if they were out of the country. Alright, this is the Southern Carolina Freight. The Zephyr Hills final destination. This is where the end of the rail happened, the last 200 feet of the fucking Mid-Atlantic fucking line. This ended GIJOE fucking for 100 years. And those are the ones that bankrupted and got the GSA on us. And they bankrupted. This is the reason why the Navy chain, this chain and ball is fucked up. Now this is Zephyr Hills Depot. I'd come back later. Alright, bye-bye.